course is about Linux administration, yes?
Yes,
Sorry, Linux with MCSE.
MCSE.
So our main focus will be on MCSE. So this course is about 1 month, during which we will be focusing mainly about the MCSE. And since now the companies are looking for the people who are having multiple skills, so we have, depending upon the industry environment, a requirement, we also introduced the last week we are going to discuss about basics or fundamentals of the Linux operating system also. But this course is primarily we are going to focus on MCSE. So once you have done with this course, you will be eligible to work like a system administrator. And the depth of the subject which we are going to cover you through this course, easily you can cover the gap up to 2 to 3 years. Okay. So this is basically designed based on the model of the domain model. Every company, any industry you go, they work only on the domain model. So this course, MCS, is completely designed or based on the domain model. So anybody have any idea about what is domain model? So when I'm asking you a question, please, you can use the chat box instead of unmuting your mic. You please keep your mics in mute position because it will be better for everybody. So use the chat box to reply. Yes, the MCSC stands for what? And this course, MCSE course, is completely designed based on the domain model using the server operating system. So before I start the session, I would like just to know your like views about what is domain model, what is MCSE. Then we will proceed with the content what we are going to discuss through this MCSE course. Yes. Uh, can you just, I'm not able to see the views of you. You can just start writing your answers. Okay, I got one answer from Anjum, Microsoft certified. Yes. Now from the Sayed also I got it. So, okay, fine. So you are also saying that certified system engineer. But Akib answer is correct. MCS stands for Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. So please remember those who have written Microsoft Certified System Engineer. It is not like that. So what our friend Akib has written, that is the answer. So everybody please remember MCSE course stands or MCSE stands for Microsoft Certified Solution. It is not the system engineer. Kapil, you also please make sure that it is a Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. So this course is basically designed or built on domain model. So this MCSE course is completely designed or based on domain model because every company uses only the domain model. Every company uses only the domain model. So what is meant by domain model? As this course is completely designed or built on domain model, what is your idea about the domain model? So when I'm putting the question, it is for everyone. So whoever knows or you have any idea, you write it. Okay, I got one answer from Vinay. Okay. What okay. Okay, server you are saying, Abdul, very nice. I'm not saying it is correct or wrong. Let me just first get your views about what is domain model, then I'll tell you what is actually domain model. Okay, I got one interesting answer from Sayed. Representation of organization data. Okay. Multiple computers are connected to one server. Okay. Akib is saying. Very nice. So this is your views. Okay, fine. So let's, in simple word, put it domain we are going to discuss. But before I start the course, in simple word, I can say domain model is nothing but centralized administration, centralized model. Centralized means from a single machine, we can able to. So when you work like an administrator, your job is what? As an administrator, what you have to do? You need to manage your network. So in the network, many employees will be working. So your basic job as an administrator is managing the network, which consists of multiple computers and users. So how do you manage it? Will you go to each user and each machine and manage it? No. So with the help of the domain model or centralized administration, we can able to control and manage all our users and computer by sitting from one machine. So that is the role we can perform or we can able to do by working like a system administrator. For that, you should compulsory need to have the knowledge about this course, MCSE. And this is a foundation course for understanding your Azure. Even if you go to any cloud technology, the knowledge of the operating system is very, very essential. So if you are doing, say, suppose Azure course without knowing much about the this MCSE, you will not able to understand anything. Okay. Now let's take about the uh, function of an administrator or role of an administrator is to manage. In one word, I'm saying to manage the network. So managing network means it includes managing the users and computer. So will you go to each users and each machine and manage him? No. So what you have to do? So you have to make your network centralized. Centralized means domain model. So once you make your network centralized a domain model, we can control all users and computer by using the single machine. So will it happen automatically? No. So we have to make to control and manage all users by sitting from our machine. We want to manage and control all our employees. So for that, by sitting on a machine, will it able to work? Will it automatically done? No. For that, we have to make our network domain model, centralized model. For that, we have to make one of the machine on which we are sitting as a server. So we have to make that machine as a server. Without that, you cannot manage, cannot control all users and computer. It never happened automatically. We have to do that. So this is what we are going to learn and discuss through this course, how to make our machine as a server. Then after that, how to control and manage it, our day-to-day routine work. So that is what basically we are going to discuss through this MCSE course. Okay. So now the most important topic of this MCSE course through which the configuration of the server will be done so that we can able to control and manage all users will be possible. So for that, which is the most important topic or service in this MCSE course? Yes, Kapil, I got your answer, but I'll tell you what is about you have written. Just give me a minute. Let's other answer all can see. Yes, Sayed is very correct. Yes, nice, Sayed. Yes, the most important topic of the MCSE course is Active Directory. So I repeat for the benefit of others also. So the most important topic of MCSE course is Active Directory. Have you heard about this? Anyone? So this MCSE course is designed or based on domain model. So domain model means centralized administration. Centralized administration means by sitting on one machine, we have to control and manage all the users and computer. So that can be possible by sitting on a normal machine or by sitting on a one machine which you have to make as a server. No, we cannot able to control by sitting on normal machine. So on which machine you are sitting, that machine first you have to make as a server, which is technically called domain controller. So domain controller is called server in simple word, but technically domain controller is the name for your server in domain model. So will it become automatically server? No. So to make your network centralized and domain model and make your machine as a domain controller through which you can control and manage all users and computer will be possible by installing the ADDS. So the most important topic of this course is ADDS. ADDS stands for, yes, anybody please write it. What is the abbreviation for ADDS? I'm waiting for your reply. Yes. Yes, very nice. Imtiaz, very nice. Yes. No, no. Kapil. No. Imtiaz, you also need to do one correction. Yes. Now, Shashank Reddy has written complete answer. Yes. Not activity. It is called Active Directory Domain Service. Very nice, Shashank. So what is the abbreviation for the ADDS? Active Directory Domain Service. So this course, MCSE is designed or built on domain model.
मैं भी कर रहा हूँ मेरा नाम
Please, can you keep your mics in mute position? It is a request to everyone. See, at the end of the session, you can speak to us or you can speak, but during the session, please, to avoid the disturbance, please keep your mics in mute position. Reply through the chat box. So if you have any question, any concern, any query, please write it in the chat box. I'll reply. Yes. Yes, Anjum, you are also right. Active Directory Domain Service. Yes, so you are also right. ADDS stands for Active Directory Domain Service. Very nice. Keep it up, all of you. So now I repeat once again for the benefit of everybody. This course, MCSE, which stands for Microsoft Certified Solution Expert, is designed on domain model, which every industry in every country will work only on the domain model. What is domain model? You can also call it domain model as centralized administration. So domain model or centralized administration means by sitting on a server, we can able to control and manage all users and computers. So as an administrator, we have to sit on a server. So will the server become server automatically? No. So we have to make it. How to make the server in domain model? First, we have to install the Active Directory Domain Service, ADDS, and configure that machine. Configure that machine. In which machine you are installing the ADDS? That machine you need to configure as a domain controller. So I repeat once again here, server is called domain controller. So to make the domain controller, which is called server, first we have to install the ADDS. So just by installing the ADDS, it will not become the server. So first thing, we have to install the ADDS service. Then after that, we have to configure or make it as a server. How to do that? All the sessions will be with practical. So I'll be showing you how to install the ADDS and make the server. So once you do that, then you are working on a centralized or network, centralized or domain model. Then all the computers in your company will be joined into this domain model, so that by sitting on a server as an administrator, you can able to control and manage all your users and computer as per the company requirement. So this is what basically we are going to learn and discuss through this MCSE course. So just making the domain model is not the work. That is one of the important work. After once you make a domain model, your everyday job is you need to make sure that you have to make your routine work is what? When the company appoint some users, you have to create the user account. Can the user create the account? No, you have to create. So once the user is created, the department will be there. So you have to put the users into the department. So that we are going to discuss under OU. So once you have given the privilege to the user to log in, so that user should log in and able to access the resources of company. But all the resources of the company, everybody should access? No. So how do you control and manage them? By applying the permissions. So your day-to-day routine is managing the network. For managing the network, sometimes you need to create users. When new employees come, then you have to control them. You need to provide them the resources. So this is our day-to-day routine work. So all these things we can do by sitting on our domain controller. and we can able to provide the resource. We can provide them the control access. We can restrict certain things. We can provide certain, as per the company requirement, we provide the resources, other things will restrict them. Now every company want to have the policies, so that policies we can implement. So all these things we will be our day-to-day routine job. So once you create a network, then the administrator job is every day. As per the company requirement, you need to manage. That's why it is called administrator, system administration. So once you are done this course, you will be eligible to work like a system administrator. So system administrator job is managing the users and the computers as per the company requirement. So this is basically what we are going to learn or discuss through this course. Okay. So before I go into the depth of the subject, I will like to inform you because we'll be taking every month the batches, multiple batches. So before you ask only, I can know what are the doubts in your mind will be there. So first question will be like some people will ask, sir, I don't know much about the coding and the programming. That's why I want to come to the networking side. So if I want to do this MCSE course, do I need to know about any programming languages or coding? No, absolutely not. So the people who are not comfortable with coding or programming only will come to this administration or network side. Second question, most of the people ask us, sir, I'm from the commerce background or from the non-technical background. Can I do this course? Yes. If you are from the engineering background, it's good, but it doesn't mean that if you are from the other background, you cannot do this course. You can equally be good in that course. So it is a fundamental basic course. Anybody can do this course from any stream, and you don't have to have any knowledge about any coding or the program. Next, like Indians, our main concern will be if I do this course, will I get the job? See, immediately there is no course in India which you do. Ultimately, it gives you the job. You have to, when you do any course, it will improve your knowledge. So you have to start searching your job. And when you attend number of interviews, you will get the idea what they are asking, and definitely it will improve your options, improve your chances. Definitely you'll get the job. But I'm not the one person who gives you just a false information. Once you do that immediately, no, you have to search, you have to register, but definitely opportunities will come to you. Okay. So now let me just give you the overview about this course. So this course is designed in such a way that anybody from any background can do this course. So for that purpose, we divided this course into three parts. The MCSE course completely is divided into three parts. So in the first part, we will be discussing about all fundamental things because it is a fact. If you want to be good in any domain, any subject, first our foundation, our fundamental has to be strong. Then automatically we will become good in that subject. So that is the reason first 3 days or even 4 days, 3 to 4 days, we'll be just discussing in the first part only the basic things, starting with like today is our first day. So today we'll be going to focus on what is network, what is networking, how many types of networks are there, like all these simple things. So here I've written in the first part designing of network. So we'll directly will not go to the designing of the network. We'll start from very basic. We'll start from very basic, like what is network, what is networking, how many types of networks are there, what is IP addressing, how many versions of IPs are there, classes in IP version 4. Then after that we will discuss. After that we will discuss the topology. Topology means what? Designing of the network. So in that we have two parts, workgroup model and domain model. So this MCC course is based on domain model. Domain model means, in simple word, you remember centralized administration. So will it become centralized by itself? No. So to design the network and make it centralized, which is the most important topic of this course, ADDS. So we will be discussing how to make our network domain model. For that, we have to install the ADDS. After installing the ADDS, then promote it to make it as a domain controller. Promote it to as a domain controller. Domain controller means our server. How to do that? All the sessions will be there with practical, remember. Then our job is managing the network. So in the managing the network, what we have to do, as I told you, we have to create the user account. So whenever the company appoints some employees, we need to create their account. So the employees will be working under department. So how we'll put them into the department? For that, we have to create the OU, organizational unit. Then, if you want to give some of the user, not all, but some of the administrative privilege to reduce the workload. So that we will discuss in delegation control through OU. And when you want to apply the, when we want to control the users as per the company policies. So network is created for what? Networking. Networking means allowing the resources to our employees. So will you give the full access? No, we have to give them the control access. So that can be done with the help of the permissions. So before you apply same permission to multiple user, we have to create a group. So we'll be discussing how to create a group, how to add the users into the group before we apply the permission. Now, another important challenge or our job as an administrator is we need to protect the company data. And at the same time, certain data should be allowed to certain department users. So how you are able to do this activity or this work? By using the permission policies. So we have in Windows, this course MCSE design on Microsoft Microsoft operating system. Microsoft operating system name we generally use as what? Windows. So this course is designed on domain model using the Windows operating system. So in Windows operating system, how many types of OS we have? Can anybody please write it in the chat box? How many types of operating system we have in Windows? So this course MCSE is designed on domain model using which operating system? Windows operating system. Most of the people in the world are using which OS? Windows OS. So in Windows, how many types of OS we have? Please write your answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? How many types of OS we have in Windows? Okay, I got one answer from Akif. 3 types. From Anjum, 4 types. Yes. Yes, everybody agrees with 3 or 4, or what is your answer? 3? Okay. Okay. Now, Srinu is saying 2. Now I got 3 answers. Which one is correct? 2, 3, 4. Majority of you. Which answer? Okay, Shashank has given one new. 5. Okay, I think now let me clear your confusion. So in Windows, we have, so I asked, yes, Anjum, I ask you how many types of Windows operating system we have. So your answer should be, I'm not asking you the version, I'm asking you the types of operating system. So out of all these answer, only Srinu answer is right. That is, we have 2 types of operating system, not 5. Only 2 types of operating system in Windows. What are they? Now I told you the answer. 2 types, not 3, not 5, not 4. Only 2 types of operating system we have in Windows. What are they? Yes. Microsoft Linux? No, no, I'm not asking you types of operating system. I'm asking you in Windows, how many types of OS we have? We are talking this course based on Windows only. Yes, 2 types of OS in Windows, server and client OS. Then why you said 5 types, Sayed? I think you may be confused about versions. So please remember all of you, if somebody asks how many types of OS we have in Windows, I'm asking, not overall I'm asking. So this course I said is based on domain model using Windows operating system. So in Windows operating system, how many types of OS we have? Now tell me, in Windows, how many types of OS we have? Just now I told no answer, yes, 2 types. What are they? What are they? Yes, what are they? Yes, server OS and client OS. Very nice. So now this course, MCS is based on server OS or client OS, tell me. So when we are using this, or when we are doing this course, we have to use the server OS or client OS. Yes, we have to use the server OS. Yes. So this MCSE course is designed on domain model using the Windows Server operating system. Please remember. Okay. So, so in Windows, how we will protect the data and how how we will share the data. Sorry. Yes. How we will protect the data. Our job is most important job. All jobs are important, but one of the important job is to protect the company data and to allow the authorized employees of a particular department, particular data to be allowed to be accessed. So how do you make sure the users data, employees data is protected as well as the users, authorized users share particular data. So this can be done by using the permissions. Yes. Yes. So we'll be protecting the data and sharing the data by using permission policies. So in Windows, we have two types of permissions: security level permission, which is to protect the data, and share level permission in Windows to share the data. So if you are sharing the data in Windows, we have to use share folder. So we will be discussing that, how to create a share folder and to share the data. Yes. And every day employees will be writing the data for the company. So how do you protect the company data, employees data, which are who are generating the data for the company? For that, we have a concept called profile to protect the employees data who are writing the data, generating the data for the company. So we uses profile. So how many types of profiles we have? So we are going to discuss two types of profile, local and roaming profile. Yes. Then if you want to share all the users data at one particular place, we have to use the home folder. So these things we'll be discussing in profile. Then every company have their own requirement. So their own expectations from their employees. So the companies, every company will have their own policies for their employees. So how we will implement the policies of the companies on the employees? Using group policy. So we'll be discussing how to apply the policies of the company on the users or on the employees using the group policy. And as an administrator, your job is never finished unless until you need to make sure the company data is never lost. So to prevent the data loss of the company, what you need to do as an administrator? To prevent the data loss of the company, what you have to do? Yes, very nice, Shashank Reddy. Yes, everybody written this answer correct. Mohammad Abdul, Akib, very nice. We have to take the backup. So we'll be discussing how to take the backup using Windows Server backup. Okay. Then after that, we will be discussing third and final part of our course. As an administrator, we should know how to configure the servers, because as an administrator, we need to provide service. So when we can provide the service? By configuring the servers. So servers, as an administrator, we should know how to configure. So we'll be discussing how to configure the basic servers, which will be present in every company. So our focus will be how to configure the servers. We'll be discussing how to configure the servers. Server means which provides service. Now let us assume in the companies you will have hundreds of machines. So let us assume in your company there are 200 employees and they are sitting on 200 computers. So if they need to communicate with each other, IP should be there. So who can assign the IP address? Only admin. So you are a administrator. So will you go to each and every user machine and assign the IP? Yes, tell me. If you are an administrator, will you go to each machine and assign the IP? No. Then what you will do? You have to assign IP address to 200 machines. What you will do? You are an administrator now. Yes, what you'll do? Yes, Irfan is right. Some idea he is having. We have to configure one server. Which server we have to configure? Which server we have to configure? DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. We are not discussing the course. I'm just telling you the overview, what we are going to discuss through this course. So please don't get confused that I'm telling so fast like that. I'm just giving the overview about what are the things which we are going to learn. So in one day, I'm not going to tell all these things. I'm just giving you first overall what are the topics we are going to discuss through this 1 month course. I hope you are able to follow me. Whether I'm going too fast or too slow, or it is okay, my speed which I'm maintaining now. Is it okay? Or if you have any suggestion, you please suggest me. It's okay? Okay, fine. Thank you. So now we have to configure one server. So there will be no company who is not going to maintain the DHCP server. Because if you are not maintaining the DHCP server, or as an administrator, if you are not configured the DHCP server, as an administrator, you have to go to each and every machine and assign the IP. So will you do like that? No, never. So what you will do in that case, to assign the IP address to any number of machines or client, you have to configure in one machine, one server. Which server? DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So once you configure that server, it will provide the IP address dynamically. Dynamically means automatically through the network method, or all these machines will be connected to the switch. So the DHCP server, one DHCP server is enough to assign the IP address to all the client. So how to configure this DHCP server, we'll be discussing. So if you want to assign the IP address to all the client, we have to configure what? DHCP server. So just if I say DHCP server means it will configure, no, as an admin we have to configure. So we'll be discussing how to configure the DHCP server, which will provide the IP address to all our client. After that, we will be focusing on how to configure the DNS server. What is DNS? So DNS stands for Domain Naming System. So it is a resolution service. DNS is a database resolution service which resolve name into IP and IP into name. So we'll be discussing different types of DNS server in DNS topic and how to configure their zones and record. All those things we'll discuss so that it can able to resolve name into IP. So that we users were in accessing the website. So can you access the website when the company is not hosting the website? No. As a user, we can access the website provided the company hosts their website. So when you are working like an administrator, as an administrator, your job is to host the company website. Nowadays, every company is hosting their website to publish their information. So what is the service we use in Windows to configure the web server through which we can host our website? IIS. IIS stands for Internet Information Service. So we'll be discussing all these topics through practical, remember, theory with practical. So we'll be configuring the IIS, Internet Information Service, through which we can host our website. After that, we'll be discussing WDS, Windows Deployment Service, through which we can deploy the OS on multiple machines through network method. Suppose you got a job in some company, the company purchased some 50 to 100 new machines. So without OS, those new machines are there. Without OS, can we use the machine? No. So if you install the OS in one by one, all the machine, it will take a lot of time. So in that case, what you will do, in one of the machine, you will configure WDS server. Then it can install the OS onto that multiple machine through the WDS server. Next, we will be also discussing Hyper-V. Hyper-V stands for, it is one of the product of the Microsoft through which we can do the virtualization. So we'll be discussing how to create a virtual machine using the Hyper-V so that we can install any OS as per our requirement on that virtual machine to save our resources. After that, we'll be discussing how to configure the VPN server. Okay, through which the users can able to access from anywhere to our private servers. So user can log in from any machine and access the users can log in from any location and access the company servers, private servers. For that, VPN has to be configured. How to configure, we'll see in this course. Okay, so this is the overall things which we are going to discuss through this course. Now, one of the most important advantage of doing the course through the online, you will be getting everyday recording sessions. That is the most important advantage. Because if you are attending the offline session, our mind is so like it is very difficult to control our mind. So you might be sitting physically in the classroom, but it will you have your own worries, your tensions, your happiness. So your mind will be roaming here and there. So you miss one point in the offline class. So will you ask again to repeat that point to your faculty? You may ask one time, two times, because when we are sitting 2 hours, everybody mind might be going here and there and coming out. So that problem do you have in online session? No. You will get the recording session. You can play that recording any number of time. Yes. So you will be getting the recording sessions on your mail ID every day. One link will be sent to you. From that link, you have to download the recordings. So for that, we will be requiring your information. So I'll be giving you one form. So I'm putting that form link on the chat box. So all of you please click on that link, which I'm putting on the chat box. So all of you please click on this link like I'm doing. Then click on continue. Now fill up your detail, starting with your name, your email ID on which this recording will be sent to you. So first your name, then your email ID, your WhatsApp number with country code, the here counselor name who approach you for this course, like here, Sharon, Mariam, Priya, Lakshmi, Monica, Josna. If nobody, you select others. Then today you are attending this course as a demo session or already you made the payment. Then go to the next option. Here batch timing is 4 p.m. Okay, so these are the things you have to do. Select all this, then go to the next. Fill up few more detail and submit it. So I'll wait for a few minutes. All of you please submit your details so that you will be send the recordings. And after 2-3 days, I'll be sending you one file also. One practical step file I made, notepad practical file, so that you can see that file and do the practical easily along with the recording sessions. How to do the practical, we will guide you. I'll provide you the VMware. On the VMware, you have to create a virtual machine and install our server operating system, Windows Server operating system. And every day I'll show you the practical that you can do by seeing the video recording as well as the practical step file. Dual advantage.
Sir, counselor they are asking about.
Yes, I told no. So for this course, anybody has approached you and told the details about this course? No, you have joined by yourself. You click on others.
Okay, sir.
And please remember, when we are discussing this course, MCSE, first 3 days, you will have a very short and simple practical. But it doesn't mean that whole MCSE course is like that. No. So first 3 to 4 days, our practical will be short and simple. Once we make our network model from 4th or 5th day, then till the end of the course, you will have multiple and lengthy labs. So by saying first 3 days, don't assume the labs will be so simple and so short. No. So we'll be making 4th or 5th day the domain model. So after that, every day you will have multiple and lengthy practicals. Okay. So once everybody done, please write it the message, then I'll continue. So I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Let everybody do it, then I'll continue. Okay, everybody done? Are still anybody is doing? Okay. So one of our friend is asking, if you have the order number or transaction ID, any information is enough. Because they'll check it. If you already done the payment, no problem. Michael, you don't write the mail ID to me. You write the box which I given to you. There you write and submit it. Okay. Everybody done? Okay, I'll move to the next point now. So if everybody done, we'll move to the next point. So now, this course, days-wise schedule. Days-wise schedule I'll go through now. So today is the first day. So on this first day, we are going to discuss all just fundamental things like network, networking, types of network like that. Then tomorrow we'll discuss like operating system means what, IP addressing means what. Next day we'll be starting with the topology, third day, types of topology, work group model, domain model. So to make the domain model, how to install the ADDS and make it as a domain controller. That will be our 4th or 5th session maybe, not second day. Now, in this course, MCSE, I told you or I asked you, which is the most important service or the topic. If you have the payment detail, you just give it. Otherwise, no problem. You just mention payment done, something like that, they will check. See, yes, I think somebody is asking one question. Maybe Irfan, do we get the class notes or simultaneously we need to note down? See here, class notes we will not give you. This slide, we have our app, Zoom Technologies. You download our app and registered on that app. From that, you can access this slide. You cannot download, remember, you can only access. If that app is having any problem, you tell me, I'll provide you one more link. From that link also you can access. But that will be possible after you registered and made the payment. Okay. So wait for few days. After that, those who join into the session will be only the people who made the payment. So at that time, I'll provide you the link from where you can access this slide. And as per the running notes, if you want to maintain, you have to do by yourself. Or otherwise, every day after going through the recording, you can prepare your own notes. It is up to you. Okay, so yes. So I was asking you this question. So if you see this course content, the most important topic is Active Directory. So how many sessions we have for Active Directory only? You see the screen. Before your screen, I put the slide. So you see and tell me how many total sessions are for Active Directory. Yes, very nice. 5 sessions are there. So how many sessions we have for our Active Directory? 5 sessions. So in the first class of Active Directory, we will be discussing about what is ADDS, how to install the ADDS, and make our machine as a domain controller in the first class. In the second class of Active Directory, we will be discussing the structure of the Active Directory, which consists of domain, tree, and forest. So in the second class, we will be discussing about domain, tree, and forest. And in the third session of the Active Directory, we are going to discuss about, in the third session of the Active Directory, we are going to discuss about the difference between domain controller and the backup of domain controller, which is called ADC, additional domain controller. In third session, we'll be discussing the difference between DC and ADC. DC is called server domain controller. ADC is called backup of the domain controller, additional domain controller. It is called ADC. So in third session, we'll be discussing the difference between DC and ADC. Then in the fourth session, we'll be discussing about how to create a trust between different forests. How to create a trust between different forests. And the fifth session, we'll be discussing about the global catalog and site. So these are the 5 sessions of the Active Directory. Then after the first session of the Active Directory, once we install the Active Directory and make that as a domain controller, after that, if you create a user, those users are called domain users. So in the third session, here, client and member server will be discussing how to add the machine into the domain so that if a user is created from the server, that user can log in from any machine. So in every company, this setup only will be used. So we'll be discussing that client and member server. Then as I told you, for sharing the data and protecting the data, we'll be discussing 2 types of permission policies: security level permission and share level permission. Security level permission for secure, providing the security to the data or protecting the data. And share level permission is used to share the data. After that, the employees which are working for the company, they will be generating the data every day. They'll be generating the data for the company. So the employees' data, which is being generated by the employees for the company, will be protected by using profile. So we'll be discussing 2 types of profile: local and roaming profile. Then after that, we'll be discussing home folder, with the help of which we can store or keep our data at one place. And then we will be also discussing FSRM service, File Server Resource Manager, through which we can prevent the user from wasting the space of the server hard disk. After that, we'll be discussing OU, Organizational Unit, which acts like a department. And using the OU, how we can give some of the administrator privilege to other user, not full, some of them. So that is called delegation control. So that we'll be discussing in OU. Then Active Directory second class I told you, third class I told you. Then group policies. So we'll be discussing how to implement the policies of the companies on users. That we'll be discussing in group policy. After that, Fourth and fifth session will be there of Active Directory. Then how to configure the servers, starting with DSCP, which will assign the IP address after we configure DSCP. Then after that, we'll be discussing how to configure the DNS server. How to configure the DNS server. Different types of DNS servers, standard primary, standard secondary, stub zone, forwarder, conditional forwarder in DNS. After that, we'll discuss how to host the website using HTTP protocol as well as HTTPS protocol, and how to upload and download the data using FTP in IIS. After that, we'll be discussing WDS, through which we can deploy the OS on multiple machines through the network method. After that, we'll be discussing Hyper-V, through which we can create a virtual machine and install the OS. After that, we'll be discussing RAS, means VPN server. Then after that, we'll be discussing how to manage our hard disk by creating the partition and implementing on that partition RAID. That we'll discuss in RAID, using the RAID under the storage management. Then last, how to take the backup and recover. This is MCSE. Along with that, the fundamentals of Linux we'll be discussing in last class, like in the last week, the Linux classes, like what is Linux, how to install the Linux, how to create the file in Linux using cat touch vi editor, how to create directories using mkdir, how to copy files in directory, how to rename and how to delete. After that, we'll discuss how to create the users and group, then how to apply the permission on users and group using Linux operating system. So our main focus will be on MCSE, but in Linux, whatever we are doing in Windows, same thing you can do on Linux operating system. So mostly the theory we are discussing in MCSE course. So in the Linux, we will be not discussing much theory because the concept will be same. We'll be just doing mostly the practicals, how to create users, group, files, directories, like that. After that, in Linux, we'll be also discussing how to apply the permission on users and group. Then we'll be discussing how to install in Red Hat, we are discussing according to Red Hat. In Red Hat, how to install .rpm application using RPM and yum. Then I'll show you how to configure in Linux operating system DSCP server and how to host the website using Apache. So this will be our course content for 1 month. So if you have any questions, any query, please write the chat in the write in the chat box. I'll reply. Any questions, any query related with the whatever we have discussed, including the course content. If you are okay with that, we'll start today's first point, introduction. Yes, please. Any questions, any doubt, or can I start the topic? Introduction today. Yes, anyone? See, our sessions will be around 2 hours. In that, we'll be discussing theory plus practicals. So we are not automated machines. So sometime, 2 hours roughly, sometime it may extend more than 2 hours, sometime like 2 hours, 5-10 minutes, sometime 2 hours before 5 minutes, like that, 10 minutes maximum. Okay. So today is our first day, so there will be no lab. Tomorrow onwards, lab will be there. So if it is fine, can I start the first topic? What is network and networking? Okay. So we'll start with the basics, network. So already we have discussed MCSE stands for Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. So in this, we will start with the network. So network means interconnection of devices. Interconnection of devices is called as network. Interconnection of devices is called as network. Like suppose for simplicity, I'm taking here two machines, system 1, system 2. Now you tell me these two systems, are they in the network or not in the network? Interconnection of two or more systems is called, or devices is called network. So these two machines are in the network. Yes, as the Sudhir is saying, very nice. Yes, they are not in the network because they have been not connected. Yes. So now every machine will have a LAN card. Every machine will have a LAN card. So I took one cable, one end of the cable I put to this LAN card, another to this card. Now, are they in the network now? Now these two machines, are they in the network? Tell me, yes, no? Yes. Now it is in the network, yes. So that is the meaning, interconnection. When you connect the devices with some medium, that medium can be cable. Then they are called, these machines are in the network, interconnection of devices. Now, networking. Networking means enabling the communication between the interconnected devices. So why they should communicate? Networking is enabling, networking is enabling the communication between the interconnected devices. For what purpose? For what purpose? For sharing the data, or you can say for sharing the resources. Data is nothing but resources and services. So now these two machines I have connected. So will they communicate? Now these two machines I have connected. They are in the network. So will they communicate? Very nice again, Sudhir. They will not communicate. Yes. Why? Why they will not communicate? Now connected, they are in the network. But they will communicate with each other, these two machines? No. Why? Why it will not communicate? Yes. Why it will not communicate? Sudhir, you have written the answer. Okay, I'm just observing your answers, checking your answers. Yes. So some are saying still not enabled. What it is not enabled? Internet, protocol. No, all these your answers are complicated answer and it is not correct. So the simple answer for this is no permission, nothing. So the simple answer for that is no, no, no. So the simple answer for this is for enabling the communication between the devices, we require two types of connectivity, no configuration. How many types of connectivity we required? How many types of connectivity we required? Two types, no language. Two types of connectivity we required. One is physical connectivity. And the other one is the logical connectivity. Physical connectivity and logical. Physical connectivity is provided by using the media. That media can be cable or Wi-Fi. And the logical connectivity is provided by using, yes, tell me. So here physical connectivity is there, but logical connectivity is not there. So logical connectivity is provided by using what? Tell me. What is missing there? Very nice. Akib, at last you have said correct. So all of you please remember. So for communication, we should have two types of connectivity, physical and logical. Physical is provided through media like cable or Wi-Fi. But here logical connectivity is there? No. So unless until you don't have the IP, can they communicate? No. So now can they communicate? Yes. Now they are in the network as well as networking is taking place. Networking means enabling the communication. I hope everybody understood this point. Have you understood, everyone? So in the companies, do you have, only two machines? In the companies, do you have only two machines? No, it will be many machines. So then how do you connect? If it is more than two machines, how do you connect? If two machines is there, I can take one cable and connect it. But if it is more than two machines, very nice, Aishwarya, we have to use some network connecting device. And the device is switches, yes. So always remember in the companies, the computers are connected through the cable to the, earlier they were connecting to the hub, but now to the switch. Now nobody is using hub. Now, if it is two different networks and the devices are in different network, we have to use one more device, that is router. Yes. So now we'll try to understand the difference between hub, switch and router. So when it is more than two devices, we can connect them either using the hub or switch. But now nobody is using hub. Everybody is using switch. Why? When you use the hub, the network will get slow because hub every time does broadcasting, whereas the switch is an intelligent device. It always does unicast, so network will not get slow when the devices are connected with switch. That's why nobody is connecting through hub, only through network, through the switch. But if your connected devices are at different place and in different network, so you have to connect one more device, that is router. Now we'll try to understand the difference between switch, hub and router. So before that, we should know that in every machine, there will be one card. That card is called NIC card. On every machine, you will have one card on which IP will be given. That card is called NIC card. So what is the full form of NIC? What is the full form of NIC? Network interface card. In every machine, this will be there, in every computer. So it is also called, NIC card is also called LAN card or Ethernet card. So on this LAN card or Ethernet card, you will have one address that is called MAC address. What is the full form of MAC address? Media access control. So MAC address is given by the manufacturer, vendor, which cannot be changed. It is permanent address. It is fixed, which cannot be changed. So MAC address is given by the manufacturer. So the MAC address is given by the manufacturer. Manufacturer means, suppose I'm purchased Dell laptop. So the Dell company will provide me one LAN card. On that LAN card, one permanent address will be given. That is called MAC address. So MAC address is given by the manufacturer. So this MAC address, which is given by the manufacturer, contain the one unique address. That address is called MAC address. And this address, MAC address, which is given by the manufacturer, it's also called as permanent address or physical address. MAC address is also, which is given by manufacturer, is also called as physical address. And you can call this as a permanent address because this you cannot change this address. Physical address or permanent address, because this you cannot change. So who will provide this? Manufacturer will provide. So every LAN card will have on the LAN card, before we assign the IP address, will have one address that is called MAC address, which is given by the manufacturer, vendor. So what is the use of this MAC address? What is the use of this MAC address? MAC address. MAC address is used. MAC address is used to identify the computer. So when you are communicating between two computers, how the computer will understand each other? With the help of MAC address. So MAC address is used to identify the devices. Devices means computers. So computers or systems are identified with the help of the MAC address. Whereas on that NIC card, we can give one address which is called IP address. On this NIC card, we can assign one address. By default, one address on the NIC card is given, that is called MAC address, which is used to identify the computer. But on the NIC card, as an administrator, you have to, as an administrator, you have to assign the IP address, that is called logical address. So who will assign the IP address? Administrator will assign the IP address. Administrator will assign the IP. So this IP address is called as logical address because this can be changed. It is not permanent. So this address can be changed. That's why it is called logical address. So what is the use of the IP address? Like MAC address is used for identifying the computer. So IP address is used for communication between the devices. So communication between devices, that is devices means computer, will takes place through IP address. Provided the physical connectivity is there. If physical connectivity is there, not there, you cannot communicate. If physical connectivity is there but IP is not there, it will not communicate. Both has to be there. So the communication takes place through IP address between the devices if physical connectivity is provided. If physical connectivity, that is cable, is connected. Without that, they cannot communicate. So computers are identified with MAC address and communication takes place between computer with the help of the physical address and logical address. Physical address is given by, physical address means MAC address given by manufacturer, and logical address is given by administrator. So when we have the logical address on the device, there should be also physical connectivity. Physical address is different, physical connectivity is different. Physical connection is done with cable or Wi-Fi. Okay, are you following up to this, everyone? Or if you have any doubt, please write it in the chat box so that I can reply you. Up to this understood, or any questions, any doubt? Yes, please tell me, up to this understood, it's clear? Okay, fine. So can I go to the next slide where we will try to understand the difference between hub, switch and router. Okay. Now, hub is a network connecting device which is used to connect the computer or devices. but nowadays we are not using because it always does broadcasting. Broadcasting means it will send to all. Because of that, the network will become slow. So it is used to connect all the devices. But when you connect the devices through hub, it will always do broadcasting. Because of that, the network will become slow. So when you connect the devices with the hub, since it does every time broadcast means send to all, the network will be slow. The devices will communicate slowly. Because to everybody it will send unnecessary. Due to that, network congestion and network traffic will result. Due to that, the network will become slow. Next, switch. So like hub, switch is also used to connect the devices. But switch is called intelligent device because first time it will do flooding. Flooding means it will send that data or that packet first time to all, but next time onwards it will do unicast. Unicast means one to one. So because of that, the network will be fast. The devices communicate fastly. So that is what called unicast. So network will be fast. So, so now you tell me, if you are an administrator, you want to connect the devices with hub or switch. Tell me. Switch only. Yes. That's why nobody is using hub. Only switches. Yes. Now, if your connected devices are at different places and they are in different network, they cannot communicate just with the switch. So you have to connect to the switch one more device that is called router. So router allow the communication between devices when they are at different places and different network. So router is a device which allow the communication between two or more devices which are at different places and different location. So this is the difference between hub, switch and router. Okay. So if you want to understand this, we have one small presentation, you can see and understand it. See here. So now here there are four devices connected with the hub. Now the computer one user sending the data to computer 4 user. So the data is now should go to the computer 4 from computer 1. But since the computers are connected through hub, what it will do? It will send to all. What it is do? It will send to all. The data is will send. Actually, it has to go to computer 4, but it is going to all computer. So unnecessary network traffic. Now, once it reaches the computer 4, from there it has to go to the reply has to go to the computer 1. So again, the data every time when you send the data from one machine, it will go to all machines. So in the companies, hundreds of machines will be there. So one user might be sending to another user might be at the same time to another. So it will send to everybody. Unnecessary trafficking will take place. Due to that, collision also repeat. Now simultaneously, if user 2 sent to user 3, so it will also send to all. So unnecessary trafficking will take place. Due to that, network will get congested. Network will get congested. And the network will become slow and slow. So that is the reason nobody is connecting through the hub. Now, if that same devices now is connected to the switch, now same scenario, computer 1 user sending the data to computer 4 user. Now, first time, what it will do? It will send to all to take the MAC address because switch maintain the MAC address. Every computer will have one unique MAC address. So first time it will send to all and it will note down the MAC address. Now, second time onwards, it will send only to the required computer with the help of the MAC address. So this is the difference between switch and hub. So which is a better device to connect the devices? Which is the better device to connect the device? Hub or switch? Switch. That is the reason nobody is using the hub. Okay. Now, if these two devices are at different location and different network, so we need to connect to the switch one more device, that is router. Okay. So actually today we have to discuss the types of network, but unfortunately the power was not there at my end. So due to that, we started the session little bit late, but we have 1 month. That is not a problem. So I'll cover that tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Within 2 days, I'll cover that. Don't worry. So shall we stop the session
Yes, sir. No problem.
for 2 days? Okay. So tomorrow we'll see how many types of networks are there, what is IP addressing, what is the operating system, that we will see tomorrow, and how to install the, this course is based on server operating system. So we'll see tomorrow how to install the server operating system through the VMware. And I will give the link also tomorrow. So you install the VMware and also the OS. How to do, I'll show you tomorrow. Okay. So before I wind up the session, please tell me regarding today's session or regarding this course, if you have any questions, any doubt, please ask me before I wind up the session. Yes, recording sessions will be sent to you, not immediately. After, it may take some hours, 2 to 3 hours. After that, Sunday there will be no class. On Sundays we will not have the class. On all days we will have, including Saturday. So your recording will be sent after 2 to 3 hours. On your mail ID, one link will be sent. From that you can see. So it is better you download from that link. Everyday recording you download, because once you download that session's recording will be there with you forever. Okay. So if there is no question, no doubt, can I close the session?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. I really apologize for the delay start today because of the power problem. Tomorrow it will be, every day will not have a power issue. So tomorrow we'll have the session at exact time, 4. Yes. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye everyone.